So step number 1 is to import the pandas library, and with the help of pandas, upload and explore the dataset. So dataset is named insurance.csv, and this is how the dataset looks like. The charges column dictates the amount of money that has been paid by the company to these applicants as part or in the form of their insurance coverage cost. And the first 5 columns or the variables dictate various attributes and health related information of the applicants, such as their age, their gender, their body mass index, I believe, BMI, right? The number of children they have, whether they do smoke or not, okay? And after that, I have done some quick sanity checks on the data, such as confirming the number of records and the number of variables present within the data set, and which happens to be 1,338 records and 6 columns or variables. Here I have checked the data type, the attributes, the characteristics of each columns, and the total number of or the total amount of memory that is being utilized to perform all the operations on this data. I have quickly done a check to see if there is any null values present or not. If there are null values present within the data, and if the null values are not taken care of at the beginning, then there could be potential chaos during building the models and training the data on the models. After that, I have analyzed the data on the basis of their statistical summary. And this is an interesting step. A quick advice on performing statistical summary analysis for all the numerical variables is to get a feel for the data and understand if there are any kind of unusual patterns or behavior that are spotted within each of the variable. And one of the most significant ones are seeing if there is any outlier present on the data or not. And while there are many ways of identifying outliers, a very quick way of leveraging the summary statistics is this. Just take any one variable and compare 2 values. Number 1, the mean, which is the so-called average, the arithmetic mean, and then look at the value which is showing at 50%, which is also known as the median value. And see if these 2 numbers are similar, like close to each other, or they are very far from each other. If they are far from each other by a significant distance, then that indicates that there could potentially be an outlier present within that variable. Another way to cross-validate your claim or your assumption could be looking at the max number. If the max number is also significantly far from 75% or 50%, then that could also mean that there could potentially be an outlier. And if you spot something like that, and if that is not usual depending on the type of data that you're dealing with, then you should start indulging in some more checks to look for any outliers. And if there are outliers, then use your domain knowledge or use the business context to decide what kind of treatment would be required for those outliers. Okay. In my scenario, I did not find something very alarming in terms of the presence of outlier across all the variables. And therefore, I was satisfied to move on to the next step, which is the data transformation.